Hello students, in this section we will talk about the genetic code. Now what is genetic code? Genetic code is basically a code language in the form of nucleotide sequence which is present in the DNA and in the RNA also, and that code language in the form of nucleotide sequence is used to produce a sequence of amino acids in the proteins or a polypeptide chain. And how that happens, for example, this is a double-stranded DNA. This is first transcribed into a single-stranded mRNA with the help of a base complementarity, and a complementary mRNA to the template DNA strand is synthesized, and later on this mRNA is translated with the help of the ribosome and transfer RNA into a specific sequence of amino acids. So this specific sequence of amino acids in each different protein is guided or is decided by the specific sequence or the code language present in the mRNA and basically in the DNA, because the sequence of nucleotides in the mRNA basically comes from the DNA. Okay, so in this lecture we will try to understand how this genetic code was proposed and how the meanings of the nucleotides in the genetic code were decided. So the proposition of genetic code was not that easy, because we can very easily understand the process of replication and transcription with the help of base complementarity. For example, when by the process of replication a new daughter DNA strand is synthesized in front of the template strand, the base complementarity, that is E base pairs with T, G base pairs with C, C base pairs with G, that base complementarity is used and the newly synthesized strand is complementary to the parental template strand. Okay, so in this way, in the replication, the two new strands are synthesized in front of the two old strands to produce two copies of the double-stranded DNA, which are identical copies of the parental DNA. So base complementarity is the main phenomena used in this process. In the process of transcription also, the same base complementarity is used, and that is why we can very easily predict the sequence of mRNA from the template or the coding strand of the DNA. Suppose if this is the double-stranded DNA which is to be transcribed, and if this 3' to 5' strand is the template, we can very easily say by reading the sequence in the template that what can be the sequence of nucleotides in the mRNA. For example, in front of T in the template, A will be added in the mRNA. In front of G, C will be added in the mRNA. In front of G, again C will be added here. Then in front of A, there will be addition of T. In front of C, there will be addition of G, and in front of A, there will be addition of T. So in this way, an mRNA is synthesized by base complementarity. But when this mRNA is translated into the protein and amino acids are attached with each other, we don't find any complementarity between the amino acids and the nucleotide sequence in the mRNA or in the DNA also. Here we will have to write U instead of T because mRNA does not contain T. So due to no complementarity between the amino acids and the nucleotides, the proposition of the genetic code was not so easy. It was a challenging process, and initially no correlations could be established between the nucleotide sequences and the sequence of amino acids in the proteins. But later on it was observed that if the sequence in the DNA or in the RNA is changed, then the sequence of amino acids in the protein also changes, and that is why it was concluded that the sequence of amino acids in the protein is basically decided by the sequence of nucleotides, specific nucleotides in the RNA and in the DNA. And this observation that nucleotide sequence in the nucleic acid results in the change in the amino acid sequence later on lead to the proposition of the genetic code. Okay, so this genetic code is basically present in a specific region of the gene which is called as cistron, and that is also present in that specific region of mRNA also, because RNA is synthesized from that gene or DNA. So if we see the structure of an mRNA, at the 5' end of the mRNA there is a 5' untranslated region, then there is a 3' untranslated region at the 3' end, and the sequence between the two untranslated regions is actually the translated sequence, and this much sequence of nucleotides has the information for the addition of specific amino acids in the protein, and that is why the genetic code is present in the mRNA in this region which is called as a cistron. Okay, now we will talk about the different scientists and their role or their involvement in the process of deciphering, that is cracking of the genetic code. Okay, now we will talk about contributions of different scientists in cracking the genetic code. Cracking the genetic code, matlab understanding the meaning of the genetic code, which is also referred as deciphering the genetic code. Now, in deciphering or in cracking the genetic code, the first scientist which was involved was a physicist. He was George Gamow, and he proposed that the genetic code should be made up of combinations of nucleotides or combinations of letters in the DNA or RNA. और ऐसा उसने इसलिए कहा क्योंकि there are 20 amino acids, 20 standard amino acids which are present in different types of proteins, and एक अमीनो एसिड के लिए एक वर्ड या एक कोडॉन मतलब एक पर्टिकुलर मीनिंग भी हो, तो एटलीस्ट ऐसे 20 मीनिंग्स के 20 वर्ड्स या 20 कोडॉन्स चाहिए टू कंप्लीट द जेनेटिक कोड. लेकिन डीएनए या आरएनए में देयर आर ओनली 4 नाइट्रोजिनस बेसेस. तो डीएनए के अंदर ATGC एंड आरएनए के अंदर AUGC, ऐसे 4 ही नाइट्रोजिनस बेसेस या न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स होते हैं. इन चारों बेसिस से बने हुए न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स होते हैं. एंड दैट इज व्हाई अगर एक न्यूक्लियोटाइड का एक मीनिंग निकले तो एडेनिन का एक मीनिंग निकलेगा, ग्वानाइन का दूसरा मीनिंग निकलेगा, साइटोसिन का तीसरा एंड यूरासिल का चौथा. ऐसे 4 ही मीनिंग्स निकलेंगे, 4 ही वर्ड्स बनेंगे, एंड ओनली 4 अमीनो एसिड्स आउट ऑफ द 20 अमीनो एसिड्स विल बी एनकोडेड, या फिर सिर्फ 4 अमीनो एसिड के लिए वर्ड्स या कोडॉन्स बनेंगे, बाकी के 16 अमीनो एसिड्स के लिए नहीं बनेंगे. तो इसलिए उसने प्रपोज किया कि जो 20 स्टैंडर्ड अमीनो एसिड्स है उनको बनाने के लिए ये जो न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स है इनके कॉम्बिनेशंस बन के वर्ड्स बनने चाहिए, सो दैट एटलीस्ट 20 और मोर देन 20 वर्ड्स और कोडॉन्स शुड बी मेड एंड विच कैन एनकोड 20 स्टैंडर्ड अमीनो एसिड्स. मतलब ये इस तरीके के हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, English language में there are lakhs of words, but to create those lakhs of words there are only 26 alphabets. So 26 alphabets में से अगर ऐसा होता कि हर अल्फाबेट से एक ही वर्ड बनता, मतलब हर एक अल्फाबेट का एक वर्ड होता, तो मैक्सिमम 26 वर्ड्स बनते फ्रॉम 26 अल्फाबेट्स, एंड 26 वर्ड्स would not have been sufficient to communicate different things among the population. तो प्रॉपर कम्युनिकेशन हो जाए इसलिए सेवरल डिफरेंट लेटर्स और अल्फाबेट्स दे आर कंबाइंड, दे बिकम मतलब कंबाइंड विद ईच अदर एंड दे फॉर्म डिफरेंट वर्ड्स. फॉर एग्जांपल, बायोलॉजी वर्ड में देयर आर 7 लेटर्स और 7 अल्फाबेट्स विच प्रोड्यूस द वर्ड बायोलॉजी, जिसका कुछ स्पेसिफिक मीनिंग निकल के आता है. उसी तरीके से अगर 20 वर्ड्स एटलीस्ट हमको बनाने हैं, 20 कोडॉन्स हमको अगर चाहिए to code for the 20 standard amino acids, तो 4 अल्फाबेट्स जो है डीएनए या आरएनए के अंदर, फॉर एग्जांपल इन केस ऑफ आरएनए AUGC, उन चारों अल्फाबेट्स या न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स के डिफरेंट कॉम्बिनेशंस बनने चाहिए, सो दैट एटलीस्ट 20 या मोर देन 20 वर्ड्स या कोडॉन्स बन जाए. एंड That is why George Gamow also proposed that to code for the 20 standard amino acids, each word, that is each codon in the genetic code, should be made up of at least 3 nucleotides. That is, he said that the genetic code language should be in the form of triplet codons. और ऐसा कहने के पीछे क्या रीजन था? The reason was that a permutation combination of 4 raised to 3, that is 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4, produces 64 codons, and these 64 codons are much more greater than the 20 amino acids, so they can very easily encode the 20 amino acids. उससे ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि एक एक अमीनो एसिड के लिए more than 1 words, मतलब more than 1 codons can be assigned. And today we know that this is true, that the genetic code is triplet and each amino acid is specified by at least 1, or some, in case of some amino acids they are specified by more than 1 codons, and each codon is made up of 3 nucleotides, that is the genetic code is triplet. Now to prove and further encode, मतलब understand or crack the genetic code, other scientists also helped. The second name in the genetic code deciphering is Hargobind Khorana, and Hargobind Khorana provided the chemical synthesis method for synthesis of RNA. मतलब 2 राइबोन्यूक्लियोटाइड्स को या मल्टीपल राइबोन्यूक्लियोटाइड्स को एक दूसरे के साथ फॉस्फोडाइस्टर बॉन्ड से ज्वाइन करने का मेथड, केमिकल मेथड उन्होंने प्रपोज किया था. एंड बाय यूजिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर मेथड he also synthesized initially some homopolymers. Homopolymers मतलब सिर्फ फॉर एग्जाम्पल यूरेसिल ले लिए बहुत सारे, और यूरेसिल्स एक दूसरे के साथ ज्वाइन किए विद द हेल्प ऑफ फॉस्फोडाइस्टर बॉन्ड्स, एंड he created homopolymers like U, a homopolymeric RNA. He also created another homopolymeric RNA A, etc. And he also created some copolymers of ribonucleotides, मतलब copolymeric RNA, where he used only 2 nucleotides, for example A and U, so that he could synthesize combinations of A and U in the mRNA, and those types of mRNAs were called as copolymers. And this chemical method of RNA synthesis and these homopolymers and copolymers, they helped a lot in cracking, in understanding the meaning of the genetic code. We will talk about this later on once again in detail when we will finish the discussion about other scientists. Now, Severo Ochoa also provided the method for the synthesis of RNA, but his method for the synthesis of RNA was dependent on an enzyme, that is, it was an enzymatic method of RNA synthesis, and the enzyme that he used for synthesizing RNA was polynucleotide phosphorylase. So with the help of polynucleotide phosphorylase, he synthesized RNA molecules, different RNA molecules having different nucleotide sequences, and those RNA molecules were used in the deciphering of the genetic code. And finally, but most importantly, Marshall Nirenberg provided the in vitro method for the translation of the RNAs. मतलब इन विट्रो का मतलब होता है सेल फ्री सिस्टम, मतलब सेल के अंदर जो चीजें होती है, they are called as in vivo, and any biochemical reaction that occurs outside the cell is called as in vitro. तो इन विट्रो टेस्ट ट्यूब के अंदर सेल के बाहर आरएनए का ट्रांसलेशन करके प्रोटीन सिंथेसाइज करने वाला जो सिस्टम है या मेथड है, that was proposed by Marshall Nirenberg, and this method very much was involved in cracking the genetic code. We will talk how this method works along with the synthetic RNAs which were synthesized by Hargobind Khorana and Severo Ochoa in the next section. Okay, now we will try to understand what is the in vitro translation system proposed by or given by Marshall Nirenberg, and we will also try to understand the roles of homopolymeric and heteropolymeric or copolymeric RNAs which were produced by Hargobind Khorana, and we will try to understand the roles of these things in cracking the genetic code. Now this is in vitro translation system. In vitro का मतलब ऑलरेडी हमने डिस्कस किया, दैट इज आउट ऑफ द सेल इन द टेस्ट ट्यूब. सो इस इन विट्रो ट्रांसलेशन सिस्टम के अंदर मार्शल नीरेनबर्ग ने एक सेल एक्सट्रैक्ट लिया था, मतलब सेल्स जो होते हैं उनको लाइज करके उनका एक्सट्रैक्ट इसमें डाल दिया. जो ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टेंट आरएनए मॉलिक्यूल्स थे उनको इनएक्टिव किया और उसके अंदर synthetic RNA molecules add किए. These synthetic RNA molecules can be prepared by the chemical synthesis which was provided by Hargobind Khorana, or this can also be provided by the enzymatic method of RNA synthesis. And in reality हम अलग दूसरे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स के अंदर नेचुरल RNAs को भी इसके अंदर ट्रांसलेट कर सकते हैं, बट इन द genetic code experiments only the synthetic RNAs were used whose nucleotide sequences were known for the in vitro translation system by Marshall Nirenberg and other scientists. So यहाँ पे सेल एक्सट्रैक्ट के अंदर अमीनो एसिड्स हैं, राइबोसोम्स हैं to translate the mRNAs into the proteins. There are transfer RNAs which bring the amino acids towards the ribosomes, and ATP which is required for the energy or as an energy source. So इस in vitro translation system के अंदर साइंटिस्ट लोगों ने सिंथेटिक mRNAs डाल दिए, केमिकली और एंजाइमेटिकली सिंथेसाइज्ड mRNAs. फॉर एग्जांपल this blue line indicates one type of such RNA, जिसके ऊपर कि राइबोसोम्स जो ऑलरेडी सेल एक्सट्रैक्ट के अंदर प्रेजेंट है, they will bind and they will translate this mRNA into the protein. और फिर ये जो प्रोटीन बनेगा, इस प्रोटीन में कौन से अमीनो एसिड्स का सीक्वेंस है, कौन सा पहला अमीनो एसिड है, कौन सा दूसरा, कौन सा तीसरा, कौन सा लास्ट वाला, ये हम डिटरमाइन कर सकते हैं. एंड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट वी कैन कोरिलेट द अमीनो एसिड सीक्वेंस इन द प्रोटीन विद द न्यूक्लियोटाइड सीक्वेंस इन द एमआरएनए, क्योंकि हमको पता है कि इस एमआरएनए के अंदर न्यूक्लियोटाइड सीक्वेंस क्या है, हमने खुद बनाया हुआ सिंथेटिक एमआरएनए हम प्रोवाइड करते हैं इसके अंदर. इसलिए तो फॉर एग्जांपल इफ दे यूज्ड a homopolymeric mRNA which is made up of only uracil, that is U, and if they translated this mRNA into the in vitro translation system, what type of protein they got is that the protein carried only phenylalanine amino acids, मतलब phenylalanine linked with the second phenylalanine with the help of the peptide bond, then third was again phenylalanine, fourth again phenylalanine, and every amino acid that was present in the protein or the polypeptide chain was the same phenylalanine amino acid. तो इससे पता चला कि if only uracils are present in the RNA, or if UUU is the genetic codon, then it refers to the phenylalanine amino acid. फिर दूसरे UUU कोडन से भी फिनाइलएलेनिन ही इनकॉर्पोरेट होगा, तीसरे UUU से भी फिनाइलएलेनिन ही इनकॉर्पोरेट होगा इनटू द पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन. फिर हरगोविंद खुराना ने कुछ कोपॉलीमरिक आरएनएस भी सिंथेसाइज किए थे. तो कोपॉलीमर्स के अंदर उसने अलग अलग कोपॉलीमर्स बनाए थे. फॉर एग्जांपल he synthesized one type of copolymeric RNA by using adenine and guanine nucleotides. तो एडेनाइन एंड ग्वानाइन अगर सिर्फ टेस्ट ट्यूब में ऐड किए हैं और उनको एक दूसरे के साथ रैंडमली ज्वाइन किया बाय केमिकल सिंथेसिस ऑफ आरएनए सिंथेसिस मेथड, तो 3 एडेनाइन रेसिड्यूज कभी कभी एक दूसरे के साथ कंटिन्यूअसली ऐड हो गए तो ए कोडन बन गया. ऐसे भी पॉसिबिलिटीज है कि 3 ग्वानाइन रेसिड्यूज एक दूसरे के साथ ज्वाइन हो जाए. देन देयर इज अनदर पॉसिबिलिटी दैट एडेनाइन के सामने 2 ग्वानाइन्स ऐड हो जाए. Then another combination which is possible is AAG, yet another combination is AGA, yet another combination is GAA, and likewise. So different combinations are possible. 4:2 combinations मतलब 16 combinations are possible there. तो उनको फिर पता चला कि अगर AAA कोडॉन है तो उसके जगह पे पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन में लाइजीन अमीनो एसिड इनकॉर्पोरेट होता है, अगर GGG कोडॉन है तो उसके जगह पे ग्लाइसिन इनकॉर्पोरेट होता है। अगर AGG ऐसा कोडॉन mRNA के अंदर है तो उस थर्ड कोडॉन की जगह पे प्रोटीन में पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन में आर्जिनिन अमीनो एसिड इनकॉर्पोरेट होता है। मतलब AGG कोडॉन रेफर्स टू आर्जिनिन अमीनो एसिड, AAG कोडॉन रेफर्स टू लाइजीन अमीनो एसिड, AGA का मीनिंग होता है आर्जिनिन अगेन, एंड GAA कोडॉन एनकोड्स ग्लूटामिक एसिड एज एन अमीनो एसिड। सो इस तरीके से डिफरेंट कोडॉन्स के मतलब समझते गए, एंड फाइनली द जेनेटिक कोड टेबल was prepared having 64 codons for the 20 standard amino acids. So we will talk about that genetic code in the next section. Okay, so in this section we have to discuss the genetic code table which was constructed by the efforts of several scientists like Marshall Nirenberg, Hargobind Khorana, Severo Ochoa, etc. And after their in vitro translation experiments, the meanings of almost all the codons were understood, and a genetic code table consisting of 64 codons was constructed. Now, how to construct or write this genetic code table, that we will see first, and then we will see the meanings of different codons. To construct a genetic code table, we will first have to understand the genetic codon. In the genetic code, there are 64 codons, and each codon is made up of 3 nucleotides. That is, each codon is triplet. And suppose ये अगर एक codon है, तो इस codon में 3 positions है. The first position is present at the 5' end. The second nucleotide indicates the second position, and the third nucleotide of the codon indicates the third position which is present at the 3' end of the mRNA. तो हम हर कोडॉन के लिए जो फर्स्ट पोजीशन है वो टेबल के लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में लिख रहे हैं फॉर द 4 रोज। तो इस रो में 4 स्क्वेयर्स होंगे, हर स्क्वेयर में देयर विल बी 4 कोडॉन्स, लेकिन हर स्क्वेयर के फर्स्ट कोडॉन के लिए जो लेटर होगा, मतलब न्यूक्लियोटाइड होगा, दैट विल बी प्रेजेंट एट द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड of the table. So U in this position indicates that in all these codons the first nucleotide is U, in all these codons also the first nucleotide is U, in all these codons also the first nucleotide is U, and in all these codons, all these 4 codons, the first nucleotide is U. So हर न्यूक्लियोटाइड का पहला पोजीशन, मतलब हर कोडॉन का पहले न्यूक्लियोटाइड वाला पोजीशन हम लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में लिखते हैं, which is actually present at the 5' end of the mRNA. So this indicates the first position of every codon which is present at the 5' end. And on the top side of the table we write the second positions for the second nucleotides of each codon, and on the right hand side we write the same sequence UCAG as the third position of the codon which is present at the 3' end. तो इस कोडॉन का थर्ड पोजीशन U होगा, इस कोडॉन का थर्ड पोजीशन C होगा, इस कोडॉन का थर्ड पोजीशन A होगा, एंड इस कोडॉन का थर्ड पोजीशन G होगा। इस तरीके से हम हर लेटर के लिए जो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में है यहाँ पे UCAG लिखेंगे। The sequence written on all the 3 sides is same. You can see for the first position we write UCAG on the left hand side of the table. For the second position also we write the same sequence UCAG on top of the table, and for the third position of the codon also we write the same sequence UCAG. The difference is that we write it 4 times, मतलब 1 time for each letter at the left of the table. तो यहाँ पे हम पहले 2 pyrimidines ले रहे हैं हर बार, and then we are taking the 2 purines. तो ये सीक्वेंस आपको याद रखना है UCAG वाला, लेफ्ट हैंड साइड, टॉप साइड, एंड हर बार हर स्क्वायर के लिए राइट हैंड साइड में लिखना है। एंड देन विद द हेल्प ऑफ दीज अरेंजमेंट्स ऑफ द फर्स्ट, सेकंड एंड थर्ड पोजीशंस ऑफ द कोडॉन्स वी कैन डिराइव all the codons in a specific square. For example, in this square the 4 codons will be like this. From the first position there will be U, From second position there will be U, and from the third position also there will be U. So the first codon in the first square is U, U, U. The second codon will be U for the first position, again U for the second position, and for the third position there will be C from the right hand side. So इस तरीके से यहाँ पे 64 codons बनते हैं. Out of these 64 codons, the first two codons UUU and UUC, they are for the phenylalanine amino acid. मतलब mRNA में अगर कहीं पे UUU कोडन आता है तो उसकी जगह पे ड्यूरिंग प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस phenylalanine amino acid इनकॉर्पोरेट होगा. mRNA में कहीं पे UUC कोडन आता है तो उसके जगह पे भी प्रोटीन में phenylalanine amino acid इनकॉर्पोरेट होगा. अगर mRNA में कहीं पे UUA कोडॉन आता है तो उसके जगह पे प्रोटीन में ल्यूसीन अमीनो एसिड इनकॉर्पोरेट हो जाएगा. सो दिस टू एंड दिस नेक्स्ट 4 कोडॉन्स दे आर फॉर द सेम अमीनो एसिड ल्यूसीन. तो ल्यूसीन के लिए आउट ऑफ 64 कोडॉन्स 6 कोडॉन्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं, एंड ल्यूसीन अमीनो एसिड इज रिटन इन अब्रिविएटेड फॉर्म लाइक दिस LEU. And then the next 3 codons AUU, AUC and AUA, they encode for the amino acid isoleucine, which is an isomeric form of the leucine, and it is written in abbreviated form like this ILE. The next codon in this square is AUG, which encodes for the amino acid methionine, and it also functions as a start codon for the process of translation. मतलब ये कोडॉन पहला कोडॉन होता है जहां से ट्रांसलेशन स्टार्ट होता है. The same codon can also be present at other positions, मतलब 10th position, 15th position, etc. in the mRNA. लेकिन ये फर्स्ट पोजीशन पे जहां पे है वहां से ट्रांसलेशन स्टार्ट होता है. That is why it is called as the start codon or translation initiation codon. All these 4 codons they encode for the amino acid valine. तो ये GUG कोडॉन भी वैलिन के लिए ही है, लेकिन इन सम एक्सेप्शंस, इन सम बैक्टीरिया, अगर ये पहले पोजीशन पे आता है इंस्टेड ऑफ AUG जो नॉर्मली मेथियोनिन को एनकोड करता है एंड स्टार्ट कोडॉन के फॉर्म में होता है, इसके जगह पे कुछ बैक्टीरियल mRNAs में अगर GUG वाला कोडॉन आता है तो एट द फर्स्ट पोजीशन इन द बैक्टीरियल mRNA द GUG कोडॉन फंक्शंस for methionine amino acid, not for valine, and it functions as a start codon in that case. But otherwise, if GUG codon comes at any other position, even in the bacterial mRNA, other than the first position, it always encodes for the valine amino acid. GUG encodes for valine only at all other positions. It can encode for methionine only if it is present as a start codon, and that too only in bacteria, not in eukaryotes. These next 4 codons they encode for serine amino acid, these 4 codons for proline, these 4 for threonine, these 4 for alanine. Then these 2 codons UAU and UAC they encode for the amino acid tyrosine. The next 2 codons which are written in red, UAA and UAG, they function as stop codons, or they are also called as termination codons, because they are responsible for terminating or stopping the process of translation, that is protein synthesis, whenever they occur in the mRNA. तो राइबोसोम जब mRNA को ट्रांसलेट कर रहा है तो it will keep adding amino acids by reading the codons, but if the ribosome encounters UAA or UAG or UGA somewhere, at that position the process of translation will stop. That is why these 3 codons are referred as stop codons or translation termination codons, and because they don't have information for any other amino acid, they are also called as nonsense codons. All codons, 61 codons which have information for some amino acids, they are called as sense codons. But these 3 codons, because they don't have information for any amino acid, they are called as nonsense codons also. So stop codons, termination codons or nonsense codons are the words for the same 3 types of codons: UAA, UAG and UGA. The next 2 codons, CAU and CAC, they encode for the amino acid histidine. Then these two codons encode for glutamine, these two for aspargine, these two for the positively charged amino acid lysine. GAU and GAC, these two codons encode for the negatively charged amino acid aspartate, and GAA and GAG, these two also encode for another negatively charged amino acid, that is glutamate or glutamic acid. Then these two codons encode for cysteine amino acid. UGA is the third stop codon. These four codons, they encode for arginine amino acid. Out of these four, the first two encodes for serine amino acid. So इस तरीके से serine के भी 6 codons होते हैं. And AGA and AGG, they are the codons for the amino acid arginine. So arginine amino acid also has 6 codons. And glycine, which is the smallest amino acid out of the all 20 standard amino acids, has 4 codons which are present in this last square. So these are the 64 codons, out of which 61 encode for amino acids and 3 are the stop codons. Now this genetic code table has some characteristic features or salient features. The first salient feature of the genetic code is that every codon in the genetic code is triplet. मतलब हर कोडॉन में 3 ही न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स होंगे, 3 से ज्यादा भी नहीं, 3 से कम भी नहीं होंगे. The second salient feature of the genetic code is that the genetic code is comma-less or it is punctuation-less. मतलब it is read continuously. For example, if this is an mRNA having a nucleotide sequence like this, etc., then every 3 nucleotides will be read as a codon, and then the next 3 will be read as a next codon, the next 3 will be read as the third codon, and no nucleotide, even a single nucleotide, is not skipped during the reading of this mRNA and production of the protein. So कोई भी nucleotide skip नहीं किया जाता है once the reading frame starts or the start codon comes until the stop codon comes. तो इसलिए हम कहते हैं कि the genetic code is comma-less or it is punctuation-less. It is read continuously by the ribosome and the transfer RNA. The third salient feature of the genetic code is that it is unambiguous or it is specific. Unambiguous और specific का मतलब होता है कि एक पर्टिकुलर कोडॉन सिर्फ एक ही अमीनो एसिड को एनकोड करता है. वन अमीनो एसिड कैन बी एनकोडेड बाय मोर देन वन कोडॉन्स. फॉर एग्जांपल वी कैन सी आर्जिनिन के लिए 4 और 2 6 कोडॉन्स है, बट एक कोडॉन, कोई भी एक कोडॉन यहाँ से आप कंसिडर कर लो, that will encode only for that particular amino acid. For example, AGG encodes only for arginine and for no other amino acid. GGU will encode only for glycine and for no other amino acid. Likewise, GCG will always encode for alanine and for no other amino acid. This is called as specificity or unambiguousness, unambiguity in the genetic code. The fourth characteristic feature of the genetic code is that the genetic code is degenerate. Degenerate का मतलब है one amino acid can be encoded by more than one codons. जैसे अभी हमने देखा arginine के लिए there are 6 codons, likewise serine के लिए भी there are 6 codons, proline के लिए there are 4 codons, threonine, alanine, glycine इनके लिए भी 4 codons है, isoleucine के लिए 3 codons है, leucine also has 6 codons, phenylalanine, histidine, tyrosine, etc. they have 2 codons each. So there are several amino acids out of the 20 standard amino acids which possess more than 1 codons for them, and this feature of the genetic code is called as degeneracy. Another salient feature of the genetic code table is that the genetic code table is non-overlapping. मतलब once we consider this guanine, for example, as the third nucleotide of the first codon, the same guanine, the same nucleotide cannot be considered as the part of the next codon. तो next nucleotide या next codon, actually next codon यहाँ से G से नहीं start हो सकता, the G which is already considered as the part of the first codon will always be left, and from the next nucleotide the second codon will start. तो इनमें से U इन तीनों U में से कोई भी U थर्ड कोडन का पार्ट नहीं होगा, बिकॉज दे आर ऑलरेडी द पार्ट ऑफ वन कोडन, दैट इज द सेकंड कोडन. तो एक पर्टिकुलर न्यूक्लियोटाइड कभी भी दो कोडन्स का पार्ट नहीं होता है. दैट इज व्हाई वी से दैट द जेनेटिक कोड is non-overlapping. Another characteristic feature of the genetic code is that out of the 64 codons present here or on the mRNA, the 61 codons are responsible for encoding amino acids and 3 codons are the stop codons or termination codons or the nonsense codons. They don't have information for any amino acid. Okay. Another feature is that AUG functions as both as a start codon and it also encodes for the amino acid methionine. Yet another characteristic feature of genetic code is that the genetic code is nearly universal. We don't say universal, we say nearly universal. मतलब अगर UUU का मतलब बैक्टीरिया में फिनाइलएलेनिन है तो ह्यूमन में भी उसका मतलब फिनाइलएलेनिन है, हर एनिमल में उसका मतलब फिनाइलएलेनिन है एंड प्लांट्स में भी उसका मतलब फिनाइलएलेनिन है. ACG का मतलब अगर थ्रियोनिन है तो स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम बैक्टीरिया अप टू द हाईली इवॉल्व्ड एंजियोस्पर्मिक प्लांट्स एंड ह्यूमन बीइंग्स और मैमल्स, एवरी ऑर्गेनिज्म कंसिडर्स ACG फॉर थ्रियोनिन. तो उसका मतलब चेंज नहीं होता है ऑर्गेनिज्म टू ऑर्गेनिज्म, हर कोडन का मतलब ऑलमोस्ट वैसा ही रहता है in every organism. That is why we say that the genetic code is universal, but it is nearly universal. It is not completely universal because there are some exceptions to this universality, and the exceptions are some lower organisms like trypanosoma, and in case of some higher organisms the mitochondrial DNAs have slightly different meanings of some codons in the genetic code table. For example, this AUA, which normally encodes isoleucine in most of the organisms, in mammalian mitochondria, in human mitochondrial DNA and RNA, this AUA does not encode isoleucine, it encodes for the methionine amino acid. Another exception is present at this level, where we generally find that UGA functions as a stop codon in most of the organisms, but again in mammalian mitochondrial DNA this UGA functions as a tryptophan codon. AGA and AGG, these two amino acids are generally for arginine amino acid in every organism, but again in human mitochondrial DNA they don't function for arginine amino acid. Instead they function as stop codon in mammalian mitochondrial DNA or human mitochondrial DNA. So these are some exceptions. Otherwise, in most of the organisms, the genetic code table is same, that is universal. And for the same reason, we can transfer genes of one organism into another organism, and we can produce proteins of plants or proteins of humans in bacteria. For example, nowadays we use biotechnology, that is genetic engineering, and we produce insulin, clotting factors and lot of other proteins of humans in bacteria, and that is possible only because of this universality of the genetic code. Okay, so this is all about the genetic code. We will talk about the process of translation and structures of transfer RNA and all other things in the next section. Thank you.